Hold the line.
Quran comes to correct the narrative, and it's not mostly what people believe, not necessarily fighting with the scriptures. You can keep writing. Quran's not going to address what you continue to write or change. It's the narrative that Allah cares about what people believe at that time. So they believe they killed the Messiah. He's like, no, you didn't kill him. You believe he's more than a normal person? No, he's not. You guys keep writing books. We're not going to address them all. God chooses the narrative, corrects narratives. Jewish narrative
Okay.
too is corrected, which makes sense, I think.
Okay. So what did the Quran correct?
Well,
Name one thing.
Jesus did not die on the cross.
Of
Of
course he
course,
did.
that has to. Okay, so people believed he died on the cross. No one knows what truly happened. You have no
No,
witnesses.
we
The
do. We know
historians.
we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We have non-Christian
Yeah, we don't even
secular
know who they are.
historians.
Don't go there,
But
please.
we do know
No,
who they
no,
are.
we know for a fact the most reliable collection of texts from the ancient world, the most well attested is the New Testament. Nothing even comes close. The
The
most
writers
reliable
themselves say
historical
others have
documents from
written about this
antiquity
stuff.
is
I
the New
also chose to
Testament.
write about this stuff. They're telling you, they're asking people around what truly happened. They're not witnesses. You have no primary sources.
Yes,
No,
yes,
but we
they
Zero.
are.
do. We don't even. Yeah,
Matthew,
but
hang on,
DL.
Saxon, hang on, Saxon. Matthew, John, Peter, they're all eyewitnesses.
And even so, DL, just point out another thing. I mean, even though the gospel and the Old Testament, the New Testament, tells us what's going to happen about the suffering servant, about what was going to the crucifixion. The point is here, even if you put all that aside, Arban, historically, historians, archaeologists, we have proof that Jesus of Nazareth was crucified. We have proof of that outside of
Don't,
scripture.
don't say that. It makes you
We
look not
do.
good.
No, we do. We do.
Historians reported what people believed. Allah confirms it by saying, that it so
No, the
appeared to them.
Quran is what is a writing of what a person believes. As I told you, the Bible's not one book; it's corroborated.
Okay, in the end, comes down to the authority. You think Quran has no authority? It doesn't establish authority through his
Yeah,
prophets.
because it's a
Okay.
violation of what Yahweh prescribed in Deuteronomy 19:15b says that every davar, every matter must be established on the testimony of two or three witnesses. Jesus confirmed that statement in chapter 18 of the book of Matthew, and then Paul in 2 Corinthians 13:1 quotes verbatim Moses by telling Christians that every matter must be established on the testimony of two or three witnesses. I have King David, I have Isaiah, I have Daniel, and I have Zechariah, who all testify that the Messiah was to die. That's multiple testimony.
Okay, that's your interpretation.
You have one guy coming
Do
six
Jews agree
centuries
with you?
later.
Do Jews agree with you?
Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, we can go to the
Yeah.
Talmud right now where they testify that Jesus was stoned on the eve of Passover.
Not to be the Messiah, though. They don't believe Messiah was to die. Hence,
Okay, but
according to
they
them,
believe
whoever
Jesus of
died on the
Nazareth,
cross is not the
but they
Messiah.
believe Jesus of Nazareth was put to death.
Of course.
Right. And they don't follow conjecture. And remember,
It appeared to
you have to put stock in the rabbis because your Allah entrusted the protection of the Torah
What
to the
other
rabbis
options
in
do
Surah
Jews
5.
have? Can they say the opposite? We did not kill him. What?
Yes,
So
they can. Yes, they
so where
can.
did he go? Where did he go?
Yes, they can. They actually do it in the Gospels. Judas
Jews
tried to
claim they killed the Messiah.
hang on. They never said it. Jews never boasted that they killed the Messiah. That's a
No, no.
historical fiction that the
They
Quran
both did it
mentions.
in sarcastic way, in a sense, because
No,
they knew
no,
the
they
Messiah
didn't.
couldn't kill him.
Let's take a look at the witness.
Okay.
Let's go to the earliest historical witness, which is the Bible. And here in chapter 27 of Matthew, um, Verse 3 of chapter 27, then Judas, his betrayer, saying that Jesus had been condemned, was full of remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest. I have sinned by betraying innocent blood, he said. What, what is that to us? They said, see to it yourself. So he threw the silver into the temple and departed. So Judas didn't want to be associated with the death of Jesus. He felt remorse and threw it back. The elders who paid him the 30 pieces of silver didn't want anything to do with his death. They didn't want to be associated with it in any way. Now we're going to go to Acts chapter 5. We're going to see if anybody boasted that they killed the Messiah. I'm going to show you that the Quran is historical fiction.
Your books are
verse 20
historical, man. Come
verse
on,
20 verse
stop reading the
25
Acts. It's
verse
worthless to me
25
completely.
verse 25 of the book of
Okay, keep
chapter
reading.
5 of the book of Acts. Someone came and reported to the chief priest, look, the men you put in jail are standing in the temple and teaching the people. Then the commander went with the servants and brought them in without force because they were afraid the people might stone them. After they brought them in, they had them stand before the Sanhedrin, and the high priest asked, didn't we strictly order you not to teach in this name? Look, you have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and you are determined to make us guilty of this man's blood. They're literally telling the apostles, stop preaching in this guy's name because it's making us look like we're guilty of putting him to death. That's not boasting. That's people distancing themselves from the crucifixion. The Quran is false, bro, when it says they boasted. Nobody ever boasted that they killed Jesus of Nazareth. Nobody.
Don't say it's false. Say it contradicts this
I
narrative. Your
just
narrative
showed
has
you that
no
it's false.
value. No, listen. It's different. Just say it different. Don't say you don't know what the truth is.
This patience is my warfare, and the spirit's on my side.
You know what
Our
the truth
narrative is
is.
such. Your narrative is such. Your book has zero authority, man. You still don't understand. You
Yeah,
don't have
yes,
a
it
scripture in your
does. It
hand.
has
You
total
have a
and complete
you have a
authority.
collection of
That's why
hearsays
anytime
and
you go
gossips.
to the book, anytime you go to the bookstore and you buy a book on the history of the church or the history of Jesus of Nazareth or the history of the first Christians, the primary source that they're going to use is the Bible. Now, if the Bible was an unreliable historical source, they wouldn't use it.
There's nothing historical about that book, man. You know, at the
Of
most,
course it
gossips
is.
what people believed. What's historical about resurrection? Tell us about that one.
Yeah, the tomb was empty.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there's numerous books written over 2,000 years that you can buy.
Look, you choose to believe that's one. You know, look,
Many of them are written by ex-skeptics who were
yes.
either detectives or historians and stuff like that. So that is the tomb was empty, and the best explanation for the empty tomb is the resurrection from the dead.
Okay. Why you guys insist that he died? Why don't you wish? I hope God saved Jesus from torturing, and God knows what else they did to him there
Well,
in
we we
captivity.
we we
Why?
do want that, and Peter wanted that. When Jesus began to teach his mission that he was going to die by crucifixion in chapter 16 of Matthew, Peter spoke in opposition. Oh, no, Lord, that will never happen to you. But that was
Exactly.
Jesus's mission. Therefore, he told Peter, get thee behind me, Satan, because he knew that it was Satan that was influencing Peter to oppose his mission. So, therefore, any religion, any philosophy that denies that Jesus died by crucifixion and rose again is satanic.
This patience is my war.